Done. Personal best.
This is the Yorkshire Cup for 2026. Two 4-year-olds Amiloc and Rahiebb started favourites with Nayyir, Epic Poet and last year's Melbourne Cup runner Furthur, all starting around 11 to 1.
The Group 2 Boodles Yorkshire Cup, a field of 7 breaking out to race over 1 3/4 miles. Nobody in any great haste early on. There was no guaranteed pace setter. Amiloc, perhaps on sufferance, finds himself in front. Pale Jacket leads at the end of a furlong and a half and is now being allowed to stride on by Ross Orion. Extends the advantage over Nayyir heading the chase. Rahiebb, yellow with the black epaulets, in 3rd place. And then further down at the rail, the mauve cap for Will Buick. Tarian's pink cap is racing out wide of Epic Poet in the shades of blue. And the nose-bounded Dear Mile at the back of the field. They've completed 3 furlongs. And having got to the front, Amiloc with ears pricked is dictating. Well grouped in behind, Nayyir in the leader's slipstream. Amiloc, you sense, just having a good look around him as they go past the stables at the end of half a mile. Rahiebb is right in behind the leading pair in 3rd place, just ahead of Furthur. And then Epic Poet, and Dear Mile makes a position relegating Tarian's to be last of the 7. Amiloc leading them across the far side of the Nayyir over Nayyir, shadowed by Rahiebb, and then Furthur the rail accompanied by Epic Poet in the light blue. Nose-bounded Dear Mile last but one, and Tarian's firmly in touch. They're heading to halfway in the Group 2 Boodles Yorkshire Cup, and having led from a very early stage, Amiloc has set under Ross Orion a very even gallop. Thus far, he's being allowed to do things on his own terms. Nayyir and James Doyle at the leaders' quarters, and Furthur now going 3rd under Will Buick. Rahiebb in 4th place in the hands of Ray Dawson. Dear Mile in the noseband. Cam Hardy getting up on the inner of Epic Poet and Danny Tuthope, and Tarians and Colin Keane remain at the tail of the field as they head to the crown of the turn and the last 5 furlongs, the final 1,000 metres or so of the Boodles Yorkshire Cup, and it's Amiloc leading Nayyir. Furthur will turn in just 3rd ahead of Rahiebb, and then Dear Mile to Epic Poet in the light blue, weighted with Tuthope. He's patient aboard last year's runner-up, and Tarians another waiting in the wings. Down the straight they come, on towards the last half mile, clustering far side of centre. Amiloc, Nayyir within a half length. Here comes Rahiebb down the centre. Furthur just becoming a little outpaced as Epic Poet in the shades of blue is nursed into this, just angling out of the slipstream of Amiloc. Tarians on the right is being asked to close. Amiloc just wandering around a little. 1/4 mile to go. Rahiebb on the left, one from the right, Epic Poet. Nayyir with the red cap is battling on, and then Tarians, and Rahiebb has moved through. Amiloc is beaten in a matter of strides, weakens away. It's Rahiebb in front inside the furlong. Nayyir and Epic Poet are challenging. Rahiebb is leaning left, but is staying on powerfully, and it's going to be a breakthrough group race success for Rahiebb in the Boodles Yorkshire Cup over Nayyir and Epic Poet. Furthur was disputing 4th with Tarians.
Rahiebb wins. And given this video is coming to you a little late, I can tell you with confidence that the plan for the 4-year-old Entire is to head to the Ascot Gold Cup in June. Rahiebb, if you remember, was runner-up in the St Ledger at Doncaster last year, and he'll likely be lining up against his St Ledger better Scandinavia in that race. As for the quality of this win, well, on the positive side, Rahiebb has run more than 7 seconds faster than Rebel's Romance when he won this race last year. However, he was slower than 5 of the 6 editions before that. Back in 2018, Stradivarius stopped the clock at 2 minutes 55.15 on a good to firm deck, while Rahiebb recorded 3 minutes and 7/10 of a second. But a year later, when Stradivarius won the Yorkshire Cup in 2019, he finished the race in 3 minutes 1.21. That's around half a second slower than what Rahiebb has done in the 2026 Yorkshire Cup. And bear in mind, Stradivarius won the Ascot Gold Cup in both 2018 and 2019, so based on times, there is no reason to rule this guy out. And with that in mind, we'll take a quick look at the
size
Gold
of Doom,
Cup
the high level he had
odds.
at 3, and the way he's trained on now. Obviously, the Ascot Gold Cup was the logical step.
I think so. You know, we sort of dreamt over the winter that he could be a cup horse. You know, after that fine run in the St Ledger, he stays well and he's got a lot of class. He's pretty versatile when it comes to ground. You never quite know when you go Ascot Gold Cup distance, but I wouldn't be put off having a go. But you know, away from Ascot, we hope he develops into, you know, one of those, you know, cup horses who can
Be around for a few seasons.
turn up and you know, compete at the highest level.
Here's a quick look at the Royal Ascot Gold Cup odds at Bet365 Australia. Scandinavia's shortening every day now. It appears the race will be without defending champ Trawlerman. Training team the Gosdens are quoted in an article saying he's still got targets like the Long Distance Cup later in the year. Not sounding promising for Trawlerman. And now it's Rahiebb who's second fave, and I actually like those $5 odds. Further down there's Caballo de Mar at $8. Then Bet365 has 7-year-old Sweet William at $11. Then you get to the ones that I think are only good for your Betfair account. That's if you want to bet on something to lose. Illinois at $17, Al Riffa 21, Lambourne, he's done nothing since his dual derby wins. Al Nayyir, pretty honest, $26 at 34. Lazy Griff. Lazy Griff is one of interest. He's racing on Thursday, the 28th of May. And if he goes well in the Group 3, Henry II, a race Trawlerman was supposed to contest, he'll definitely be shortened. Let's take a look at Sportsbet. Scandinavia is shorter with them, $2.45. They've also got Rahiebb shorter at $4.40. Then it's Caballo de Mar, $6.50. Sweet William at $8.50. And they look confident. Trawlerman's not running. They're offering $10. They tricked me last year when there were rumours of Kyprios being scratched from last year's race. They put him out by just $1 and included the late entry Illinois in the list. Very shifty. Further down the list here is pretty similar. They're not so generous with Lazy Griff, just $23 as opposed to Bet365's $34. Finally, we look at Ladbrokes, and the men in red have Scandinavia the shortest, $2.25. I couldn't do it. He's just not looking like the horse he was last year. Rahiebb $5, that's nice. They've got Trawlerman at $7 and Caballo de Mar at the most generous, $9. I personally fancy him as a very safe place bet. There's always the weather. Al Riffa, a bit short, $15. Further down, Al Nayyir at $26. They're still selling tickets for Fairy Glen, the Dubai Gold Cup winner, whilst Sportsbet don't have her as an option. Don't bet on her. Lazy Griff at the same $34 that he's quoted at by Bet365. Anyway, that's my take at this early stage. Another of my favourite races.